Silence is betrayal. Harry got caught in a trap and got stuck in the mess while Meghan quietly collected money. Hello, and a very warm welcome back to our Kate Middleton and the Queen News YouTube channel. Recently, Harry has claimed silence is betrayal and he was trying to implicate the palace. But Meghan has been conspicuously quiet these days. And this is the woman who has clutched Harry's arm for the past 5 years, and suddenly she's silent, so we can only reason that she is doing something to betray her husband. Now, what exactly is Meghan doing right now? So Harry told Tom Bradby silence only allows the abuser to abuse. Of course, he was referring to the palace and his family, but what about his angel, his Mary Magdalene, the woman who is his mother, and that's Harry's words, those are not mine, the one who he is so desperate to make happy. So is the fact that Meghan is being so silenced to the media and there aren't any stories that she has planted since before Christmas a betrayal when it comes to her husband Harry? Now, if we think carefully about Harry's words, silence only allows the abuser to abuse. Really, he's pointing directly at himself as the abuser. So silence allows the abuser to abuse. Silence would be from the palace and the royal family, and then Harry, of course, would be the abuser. And that is precisely what has happened. Now, the royal family did a great job handling this situation correctly. They basically encouraged Harry to just hang himself with his own words and his own made-up stories, and also his absurd behavior. Harry is going to regret the day that he started all of this mess. Nothing could be more sure as an outcome. Now, maybe when that happens, he will finally get the mental health help that he so desperately needs. But Harry needs to stop worrying about the family who he left behind, and he needs to focus on what his wife is up to. Some people claim that Meghan is busy writing her own book, but about what exactly? About marrying Harry and all of the mental health problems that he has? About all the drug-fueled days they have spent together? Or is Meghan getting ready to divorce this man who is fodder for all comedians and being laughed at by people all over the world? No doubt about it, Harry has to be embarrassing Meghan about right now. The more he talks about the silence from his family, the bigger mess that he makes for himself. And Meghan is finally quiet, thank goodness. The thing we have all prayed for has finally come to fruition. And I'm sure it's not for long, but still, even a moment of silence for Meghan is blissful. I mean, is Harry even considering what Meghan is up to right now? Or is he just blind to her actions because he's trying so desperately to get a rise out of the real royal family? Harry really needs to look at his captor and her sketchy mother Doria a lot more closely. Now, they are the ones who have taken this jealous, lazy, and stupid prince, and they have turned him into somebody a lot worse. Now Harry's cruel. He is a bully. He's no prince any longer. He's a prince only in name because Harry does not act like royalty. So what exactly is Meghan up to? Now, some people are saying that Meghan is actually talking with Oprah. She and Oprah are working together to plan her escape from Harry. Others claim that she's putting distance between herself and Harry while he makes such a fool of himself. Now, it might be that Harry's not useful to Meghan any longer, and maybe she's thinking that it's time to extricate herself from this whole relationship. Now, even if Meghan is still willing to stay in the marriage, her silence does mean that she is up to something. And Harry should know that when Meghan is up to something, it's probably nothing good. Her silence is always ominous. But she's scheming away at something, that much is certain. Here are some pretty obvious conclusions. Now, she knows that she's going to keep her royal titles, and that's the beginning and end of her connection with the UK. She also knows that the royal family does want Harry back, and they'll figure out some way to apologize in an effort to get him back. But see, Meghan does not want to make peace with the royal family. Her whole being is now just about how she markets herself both financially and politically in the US. Efforts at reconciliation by the royal family really made things difficult for Meghan. See, the people of the UK and Meghan will never, ever warm up to each other. Now, I do think that Harry wants back in the family fold, and he's going to settle for some kind of strange word salad apology, but only if Meghan says it's okay, of course. Do you see the problems? Anyway, Meghan's got plans B, C, and D for all eventualities. She makes sure to cover her bases. But she's finished with the UK, she's finished with the royal family, except for, of course, those titles. And Harry is just lost and deeply disturbed. Meanwhile, Harry has been out and about making the talk show rounds, speaking to anyone who will listen. And just as suddenly, Meghan has disappeared. So could it be the talk show people only wanted Harry and they didn't want Meghan around? There are many rumors, including that Meghan is back up in Canada at the little-used mansion they started out in. And of course, there's no mention of the invisible kids. At this point, we can be certain that Meghan and Harry had a lot of drug-fueled days at their home in Montecito, and that in and of itself would not work for them. It would work against the both of them. See, if Meghan encouraged this activity in the presence of kids, I would assume that CPS would want to get involved, and that is not a good thing for either of them. I mean, CPS might show up and take that moon bump as well as any children they come across. So I really hope whoever Meghan and Harry rented those kids from thinks to get them back as soon as possible. We all know that it was Meghan who wrote most of Harry's stupid book anyway, so if people decide to read her book after all she's done, that would be ridiculous. And what really gets me is Doria. After I heard what she did to her ex-husband, to Meghan's father, Thomas Markle, and the travel agency that he got for her, and then hearing how she defrauded him as well as the tax people, she would sure be a character witness against her own daughter. I would not put it past her. And Meghan is no better than her criminal mother. Ever since I heard about a few accidents involving Doria as the perpetrator, I knew that Meghan was capable of doing the same. I mean, they say the apple does not fall far from the tree, and that applies to these two. Doria and Meghan are two peas in a pod. I would never put anything past them. And after years spent in prison, I'm guessing Doria learned a few tricks. And it's not going to be long to wait and see, because Tom Bauer has already started her biography, and it's going to be no holds barred. And supposedly it's going to come out later this year or early next year. Now, Meghan may be embarrassed by Harry at this point, but surely she knew all about that script, so she should also feel embarrassed for herself. Knowing Meghan from what and how she behaves, I wouldn't be surprised. And I'm kind of surprised that Harry's doing all these interviews on national TV and Meghan is not there. Why did she miss up an opportunity to show off her expensive outfits, which don't even fit her right? I am sure that Meghan knew when the book came out it was going to get all kinds of backlash. She had to have known that. I'm also sure that a lot of the things Harry said, especially stuff about his family, came directly from Meghan. So it looks like now she is trying to distance herself from the book by not talking about it. And I'm sure she's unhappy that it has sold so many copies. Now, of course, people did not buy that book because they thought it was going to be well written. They just bought it because they were curious. They wanted to watch the mess. Everybody knew it was going to be filled with lies, and they just wanted to see how bad it was. And now Meghan is conspicuously absent. I'm guessing she's planning something. I don't doubt it. Meghan is like a snake, and you cannot trust a snake. I mean, if Meghan is writing her own book, we know it's just going to be filled with even more lies. I can only wonder when exactly they're going to stop torturing the royal family who have given them so much. If they hate the family so much, then why don't they just leave them alone? Whoever is advising them now is not doing a very good job. If anybody other than Meghan Markle is advising them right now, they need to be fired. They have lost so much support. And if they think they're going to show up for the coronation, well, they're going to be very embarrassed because the booing will be impossible to ignore. In fact, I hope that somebody can bring a loudspeaker and boo them through that thing. They'll definitely hear that. Please tell me your opinion below in the comments section, and we can also talk about Harry and the royal family. If you think my video is interesting, please remember to like and share it anytime you want. And don't be afraid to subscribe to Kate Middleton and the Queen News channel to get more videos in the future. Now, thank you so much for watching. Goodbye, and I'll be back to see you all tomorrow.